Yo, how is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Down Podcast, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. I am your host, Chris Malpe, and today I'm joined with my co-hosts, Parth and Jaylen McClinton. How's it going, guys?
It's going great. It's good, boys.
It's going great.
And we are joined with a very special guest today, and this is a long intro because there's a lot of accolades that he's got. He was born in Leominster, Massachusetts, grew up in Glendale, Arizona. He's a former Nebraska Cornhusker, consensus All-American, 19th overall pick in the 2011 draft, Super Bowl 46 champion, and former Bears cornerback. Welcome to the show, Prince Amukamara.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. So with Prince today, we're going to be talking about everything Bears, what's next in the future for him, and it should be a good one, so be sure to tune in. Prince, I don't think there's anywhere better to start than here. While I was doing research on you, I actually dug up that your mom competed in the Olympics for Nigeria in 1984. How much of an impact did she have in your athletic career growing up?
Yeah, it's funny. My parents always argued where me and five of my sisters got our athletic ability from, and then that's when we found out that my mom ran in the Olympic trials for Nigeria. So it looks like it's her, and plus she's like 5'9", long legs, and my dad's like 5'4", and pretty stubby. So it makes sense. But yeah, I think we got our competitive nature from her also. Like, she always wants to win, and we have that same drive.
That's awesome. You studied political science while a student at the University of Nebraska, and earned a degree in sociology in 2010. How important were academics for you while growing up? And as a student athlete, what did you want to do after your playing days?
Yeah, so in Nigerian families, that's all they care about is education. So they didn't really care that I got a full ride scholarship for football. They just really wanted me to graduate. And it's funny, like you mentioned political science. So I wanted to become a lawyer because my mom said that I like to argue a lot. So I should go into that field. And I remember going into my senior year, and I'm sure you guys know who Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, who they are. But they had me on their big board. And I was thinking, like, oh wow, I can, like, I'm gonna make it to the league. So I switched my major to sociology because it was a easier major for me to graduate.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So staying on your childhood, you moved around quite a bit. Growing up, you were born in Massachusetts, then moved to Glendale, Arizona, which is the home of the Arizona Cardinals. So based on that, what NFL team did you grow up rooting for?
Yeah, so I think out here, the jerseys that I remember having were like guys like Jerry Rice and Garrison Hurst.
Oh, man.
I think I was a 49ers fan, but when I would play backyard football, and like our backyard football here in Arizona was like just tackle football with no pads and stuff, no gear.
Yeah.
So guys would the older kids would call me like Barry Sanders because of like my jukes and stuff
Sweet.
Like that. So yeah, so I played running back and offense in high school all the way up until Nebraska.
Cool. So you were a part of a Super Bowl championship team in 2012 with the Giants. What was it like playing in a game on that big of a stage against someone who arguably is the GOAT in Tom Brady? And how rewarding was it to win that game?
Yeah, dude. So it's that whole year was surreal. It was my rookie year. I broke my foot the second day of practice. I didn't get to play in my first game until the 10th week, and then the first play of my first game, I get a pick on Deshaun Jackson.
It was Vince Young throwing it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Vince Young threw it to him, and then I'm thinking, wow, it's gonna be like this like every week, and it obviously wasn't. I ended up getting benched later that year, and then I started subbing in for a guy named Aaron Ross, and he would always get cramps and stuff like that. So I find myself like starting the second half of the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Sweet.
And it's funny because like I was watching the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
Yeah.
And I mean, they showed his clips of when he was in the Super Bowl, like when he played us, and I think I saw myself in there, which was which was crazy. But like when I got on the field, I'm thinking, wow, like Tom is gonna, like, he smells blood. He's gonna throw the ball at me every chance he gets, and he didn't. And so it came down to like the last play, and it was a Hail Mary, and Tom threw it up, and Gronk almost had it, but Antrell Roll, our safety, knocked it out of his hands, and yeah, we won. It was unbelievable, and there's nothing like winning a Super Bowl in New York, especially just with the whole parade and stuff was real. But I heard winning it in Chicago is even
Absolutely
crazier. Yeah, so that would have been a sight to see.
Yeah, Chicago would go crazy if we won a Super Bowl here. But anyways, the Bears have had some pretty funny and creative celebrations over the last few years. Which one was your favorite?
I mean, without a doubt, probably the one in Detroit, the motel.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Just because the stage it was on, and just like it was Thanksgiving, and just how we won the game. I think that was great. We've had a lot of great ones.
Yeah.
So, since being in the league since 2011, I'm pretty sure you had to guard or cover a lot of great receivers. Which was the toughest receiver you ever had to cover?
Yeah, so I would say, it depends on the year, because I feel like I'm, like, since 2011, like, I've gotten better every year, and so has the receiver. So some years, I remember it was Megatron. I used to have to follow him, and then one year it was Miles Austin for me. I was
really?
very young.
He was good.
Yeah, another year it was Dez. Another year it was Julio. It's been a lot of guys, but like just as of recently, for sure,
Diggs?
Devontae Adams.
Oh, okay.
From the Packers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, in your 3 seasons in Chicago, you played alongside All-Pros like Kyle Fuller and Eddie Jackson, and you also had some great defensive coordinators like Vic Fangio and Chuck Pagano. What's it like working alongside the greatness in that Bears defensive room?
Yeah, it just really just elevates your game. Anytime you're around great players, I think that just stirs up the competition. I feel like I've gotten better since I've been with Kyle, and I feel like Kyle has gotten better since I've been there. And you've seen his numbers. He's
killing
I love Kyle's story, and me and him are always gonna be. He's always gonna be one of my best friends from this game. It's funny because they brought me and Cooper there to kind of to replace Kyle. You just see a guy who just battled with his back against the wall and earns a scholarship, and then becomes a Pro Bowler. A scholarship, earns a big payday.
Yeah.
And becomes a Pro Bowl player and an All Pro, and then and there was a time where we were all like, I think we all had competition of who's gonna have the most picks. And historically, I'm not a big pick guy, but I jumped in, and it was neck and neck with Kyle and Eddie Jackson for a while. But then Eddie Jackson, I think he hurt his ankle, and Kyle ended up winning that. And then when we get a guy like Khalil Mack, right? Like I call Khalil like one of the LeBron James of the NFL.
Yeah.
Just seeing how he works day in, day out, and then how he handles his superstardom and his celebrity, and meaning like he's very, very transparent and authentic and genuine.
Sweet.
And he doesn't big time us, basically, which we appreciate.
Yeah. So my next question was about Khalil Mack. So on September 1st, 2018, the Bears traded for him. What was your initial reaction to the trade?
Yeah, so Coach gave us a couple of days off, and so me and the family flew to California to relax a little bit, and I just wake up with my phone blowing
up, yeah.
And I'm thinking like, oh, like what just surfaced the net about me? Like, was it a picture, a video? And then all I hear is turn on the TV. You guys just got Khalil Mack, and I was just like, wow. Because Khalil Mack, I mean, there's only a couple of guys like him in the league. Like you have Von Miller, you have
Aaron
JJ
Donald.
Watt, Aaron Donald, exactly. And I mean, there's some other guys. Maybe you could put Fletcher Cox and stuff like that in there. But like to have a guy like him on I mean, you saw what it did. It just changes our defense just drastically. Like everybody had their best years. Akeem, I did, Kyle, Eddie. Like just everybody just got better. And
Absolutely.
And I call that the LeBron effect. When LeBron when he goes to Cleveland, instantly they get better. When he goes to Miami, instantly they get better. When like now he's with the Lakers, instantly a contender. So that was huge.
Absolutely.
So definitely. So I'm pretty sure you had many great moments with the Bears, including a playoff berth in 2018 and a game-winning pick six against the Seattle Seahawks in Week 2 of that year. What was your favorite memory as a member of the Bears?
Oh man, let me see. It would have to be. I never developed. I don't want to say hate, but I never disliked the team so much since I've been on a team, and the team I disliked the most was the Packers.
Yep.
For obvious reasons, and beating them in 2018 and winning at home and clinching
the division.
That was just awesome.
Yeah, we had Pat Scales on a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "There's a legitimate hatred for the Packers within Hallisall. That's crazy." All right, so you're no longer a member of the Bears, obviously, and we recently spoke earlier this offseason. That's how I got to know you. And we talked about the Bears bringing in competition for Mitchell Trubisky, and I remember we talked about names like Cam Newton and Marcus Mariota, but the Bears ended up with Nick Foles and announced that they're having an open competition. So who do you think wins that?
Oh man, I mean, I'm gonna try to give you.
Not trying to put you on the spot.
And no, it's all good. I'm gonna try to give you a real answer and a politically correct answer at the same time.
Okay.
But dude, it's so tough because, like, I mean, I think Nick Foles is getting paid like $15 million or something this year, and it's just gonna be so hard to put that guy on the bench and just let that money just stay there. And then also, but like if you can't just put Mitch on the bench, because then it's like it looks bad and it's look like you're giving up on him. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think it could be a legit competition, but I still feel like one of those guys is going to have. I think right now it's one of those guys' job to lose.
Yeah.
And meaning they might already have a favorite, and we don't know. Only they know. But one of those guys, I think, is like the guy that we don't know about, and
yeah.
If they just mess around like in training camp, like just start tripping, then I guess the other guy has the upper hand. But it's gonna be interesting because if there's no training camp, no OTAs, and stuff like that, and you just go straight to the season, then it's like
Foles knows the system.
Thank you. You're right. Like Foles has been in the system when he was in Kansas City, and then when he was with the Eagles, where he became a Super Bowl MVP. But I think what's great though is that I'm sure these guys can all link up somehow and do some social distancing practices.
Yeah.
Like they can throw the ball or whatever to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. I hated. Sorry for putting you on the spot there.
No, I don't mind it at all.
I like how he doesn't name names or anything. No, that's smart. We recently mentioned that the 2018 season was amazing, but it ended kind of sadly. That being said, if we beat the Eagles in that wild card game, how far did you guys think we would go?
Dude, everybody was convinced we were going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm telling you, everybody on our team, like if because I just felt like we were. I mean, if whether we would have played, like if we would have played the Rams
and then the Saints,
I feel like we already had their number, and we matched up well with the Saints. I just feel like we would have went all the way, and it's crazy because that's how small the
margin for error.
Exactly. That's how small the margin of error is, and that's how small the window is to like be great. And then because you see the next year is like boom, like freaking Vic and the whole almost the whole defensive staff like goes away and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like starting over, but not really. But it's like you had a defense that Vic has built and groomed and stuff like that. And then now we have another great defensive coordinator, but now he has the same ingredients, but now it's almost like a different recipe. Like we're making something else, and we're forming a new identity. And like if you remember, it was that year when Kansas City played the Patriots, and the Kansas City in the playoffs, Kansas City gets a pick, but it was offsides or whatever.
Yeah. Frank Clark was offsides.
Exactly on the defense, and it's like, but then the next year, I think, which was this year, I think Kansas City goes and like wins
easily,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just the error is very small.
Obviously it was not the best year last year. It was Khalil only had about 8.5 sacks. But the Bears have re-signed a lot of key pieces. We re-signed Danny. We signed Robert Quinn from the Cowboys. We're getting Roquan back healthy this year. What do you expect out of this defense in the 2020?
Dude, I think we finished, I want to say, top 7, top 6 last year, I think, or top 10. Like, we still finished.
Which is crazy to think that's a down year.
Yeah. Right?
All the injuries and stuff, yeah.
Exactly. And I think like the biggest piece that it's funny that everyone keeps missing is like Akeem Hicks.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like anybody knows how valuable that guy is to that defense. And I think it showed during the games and stuff like that. And not really just his play, but just his energy. Like we saw a glimpse of it when we played the Packers a second time.
Yeah.
Even when he wasn't fully healthy, but he knew he had a chance to make a run for the playoffs, and he still just like gave us all he had and was just ignited. And so I think him coming back healthy is going to be huge. But I think the defense is going to pick up from where they left off. Like, I have amazing faith in Kevin Tolliver. Like, KT, the game he played against
the Packers was
like
good.
How we started, the Packers was huge. Like, anytime you can defend Devontae, you have a great guy in him. And then even how he played Amari against the Cowboys, like he's gonna do great. And with Robert Quinn, I came in with him, and Robert Quinn is still balling this year. And so and I think I can't believe I never remember a running back's name. I just know him by his Instagram name. Can't understand me.
Oh, David Montgomery.
David Montgomery. It's so funny.
That's gonna go viral, man.
David Montgomery, and it's like with David, like when I first saw him last year in training camp, I said he looked like. He kind of reminds me of Saquon. Of course, Saquon is like more elusive and faster and powerful. But I'm telling you, like this, like
Montgomery breaks all tackles.
Surface.
Yeah.
Yes, he does, and he runs strong. And so I think that's gonna be interesting.
So this next one's an interesting one because a couple days ago it became relevant when Ryan Clark from ESPN said that Allen Robinson isn't a wide receiver 1, but you got to work for the last couple years along the Bears receiver. Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark. Oh my God, Ryan Clark is my guy too. Are you kidding? But sorry, keep going.
But anyways, I just wanted to ask you how special Allen Robinson was and how you think Anthony Miller progresses in 2020.
Oh my God! First of all, man, A-Rob is a top. Oh man, A-Rob. I would say A-Rob is top 5. A-Rob's in my top 5.
Wow.
A-Rob is. Gosh, it's crazy how great A-Rob is, and I mean for what he did, like coming off his ACL, and then what he did a year after his ACL, it's like he's only getting better and stronger. Like he gave me problems in 2016 when I was with Jacksonville. So like I know like A-Rob's top 5, and if you ask any corner, like they'll tell you like this guy gives you problems.
Sweet.
And then Anthony, I mean we started seeing Anthony coming into the scene, like what that game he had against the Lions and stuff like that. And so I think I think Anthony Miller, I mean he's going to take off. He's going to be one of the best slot receivers in the in the league.
Yeah.
Like and he's a guy that plays with so much confidence. And anytime you hear about like a player who has that dog mentality, Anthony Miller definitely comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Did A-Rob say anything when Ryan said that?
He did like he put like the confused emoji and then said like, dude, just chill. Yeah.
Wow,
that was an interesting back and forth on Twitter. You should go check it out after this. But what was Club Dub like after a win, and who has the best dance moves on the team?
Gosh, dude, I guess there's still a chance I could play for the Bears this year, but it's like I'm kind of not wanting to, because I got cut, of course. Like I have some like hostility towards them, but I love them. But I think it's just natural. Like you guys fired me, like or whatever. But it's like now that I'm working out, it's like I don't want to listen to any of the music that I work out to because it reminds me of Club Dub, and I'm not trying to be reminded of the Bears. But when Nagy came up with that, like that's one of the best things that's ever been brought to like a football culture. Like and it came from, and if you ever get Coach Nagy on this podcast, I mean he can tell you that. It came from. I remember we won a game, a preseason game, and we all just came into the locker room like it was nothing, like oh well, cool or whatever. And he's like,
We'll just
said,
dance.
like,
Yeah.
He was just like you guys just won a game. You know how hard it is to win an NFL game. Like you guys need to like celebrate every win because you never know like if that's gonna be your last win. And I mean, we kind of felt that in 2019, but like, so when he told us that, like, so we made sure we turned up, like, every chance that we could and stuff like that.
Who's the best dancer? It looks like Bellamy's got some good moves.
Yeah, it was always Bellamy or Tariq. Tariq was great. Some coaches would get involved also.
Sweet.
So you were talking about working out, and right now we're most of the world is on lockdown due to this coronavirus. So, what are you doing to stay in shape and being prepared for the next NFL season?
Yeah, so I'm grateful to be down here in Arizona. The weather's great, and even though our governor has allowed us to encourage us to take walks and to hike, and so some park fields are open and yeah, I'm able to get my conditioning and my skills there, and then my neighbor has a gym, and I'm able to go and hit the weights there. So it's been working pretty well.
Sweet. All right, I've got one more for you. We talked a little bit before we started recording, but obviously you're a free agent right now. The NFL draft is approaching. That's going to happen virtually. But can you give us any insight into what's next for your playing career?
Yeah, I still think I have a great couple of more years in me, and it's great to not be rushed and to kind of choose where I want to go. And I feel like GMs right now aren't doing a great job of right now, for example, if you have a great quarterback who's in his prime and a great wide receiver in his prime, you have a great team, you want to put you want to put like a great cast of characters to like try to go for it. And I don't feel like teams. I feel like teams are too busy rebuilding right now. And so I mean, I would love to just join a team who's trying to go and win it all. I mean, even I know I've already won one, but like when I experienced the playoffs and being one of the only teams playing in 2018, like there was no better feeling. So so hopefully I can be a part of a team who's doing that.
Absolutely. Prince, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, if you guys would like to follow Prince on social media, be sure to check him out on Instagram and Twitter at princeamukamara, and also be sure to look for him on an NFL field near you soon. But that'll pretty much do it for us, guys. If you want more content from us, you can go check out our website at beardown.com or beardown, and you can find the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at beardown. Prince, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys, any last words?
We got 4 days to the draft. I'm excited for the draft that's coming up. That's all we got. I mean, and the MJ documentary airs tonight.
Oh yeah, Michael Jordan. That should be good.
Who do you think the Bears are going? What position do you think the Bears are going for?
I think
Tight end.
tight end offensive line, because they just cut Burton.
Oh, that's what we didn't even talk about Trey.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that'll pretty much do it for this episode, guys. Stay safe, and as always, bear down. Peace.
Peace.